This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/iHeart.
Hey, friend, I know how this feels. Waking up exhausted after multiple trips to the bathroom and feeling embarrassed by sudden leaks. I used to be constantly on edge, searching for a restroom whenever I was out. Then I discovered Better Woman. I was skeptical at first, but 2 months in, everything changed. I experienced improved bladder control, no more heart-stopping moments when I laugh or sneeze, less urge to go, deeper and more restful sleep. I finally felt like myself again, confident and in control. Better Woman is natural, effective, clinically tested, and trusted by women for over 25 years. Ready to take back your control? Head over to BeBetterNow.com to order your supply today. That's BeBetterNow.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed. Individual results may vary.
Hi, I'm Bob Pittman, Chairman and CEO of iHeartMedia. On this week's episode of Math and Magic, I'm sitting down with the one and only Bobby Bones. We're exploring the power of audio.
Yeah, I don't fit into one specific hole. I think that is what endeared me to listeners. That's why I'm here now, because I talk to people that grew up like me, have sensibilities like me, and have loyalties like me.
Listen to Math and Magic, stories from the frontiers of marketing on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast.
Hundreds of people listening right now. I wish it were thousands, but at least it's hundreds. We're growing. We're the fastest rising sports talk show in the country, and we have been for about 33 years now. But there are people that, as the montage master, that you are all powerful, like the Wizard of Oz, right? They blame you for losses, credit you for wins. The vast majority of the people listening thinks we would have just swept the Golden State Warriors. That would have been 4-0 sweep had you had a montage for game one. So I got an idea. Let's see if it's true. Don't do a montage before game 5. Is that the next game?
That's tomorrow, yeah.
So don't do a montage. And if the Wolves lose, well, then we know it's proof positive. And, you could say, well, then you're what's the word I'm looking for? You're challenging the gods, the basketball gods, right? You're threatening them by why would you do something like that? Well, because we want to find out if it's proof, because we got 3 games to play with. I mean, if we lose tomorrow, it's still 3-2. We still have 2 times to win. Just don't play a montage. And if they lose, then we know for sure it's you.
I mean, I like the idea of not having to do more work.
Right.
I will say, though, I had a very rarely used montage set up for tomorrow.
Oh.
That
if they win,
can only really be put in that spot, if that makes sense. It doesn't fit in any other situation.
Okay. Going into game 5.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess that's more important then.
So
I just thought if it was 3 games apiece and going to a game 7, I wouldn't even consider you not playing them on. Let's test the theory. And then if we're wrong, if they're right, we lose. It's because you don't do a montage. Well, then they're going to tar and feather the both of us. Of course, I'd point fingers at you. I'd throw you under the bus. It was his idea, not me. Well, they tar and feather us and run us out of town on a rail. They would say we cost the Wolves. It wouldn't be that the Wolves came out flat.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be jet lag. Wouldn't be the other team tried harder. It'd be, Tennessee and Common didn't do a montage. So maybe we better go ahead and do it. So is it a song we've never played before?
I feel like I've maybe done it once before, but it's kind of only specific to this scenario. Really? So I don't think I could play it at another time.
Upbeat, fast pace, slower, kind of builds. Can you give us any kind of a clue?
Yeah, I would say it's a song within the last 20 years.
Okay.
little poppy.
A little poppy. Is it upbeat right away, or does it kind of like...
It kind of builds into it a little bit.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Oh, now you got me excited. Oh, this is so much fun.
And I've either never done it before or I've done it once. Like, I don't remember.
Here's the phrase I was looking for, Denby. This was the phrase I was looking for. This is from the Bradshaw Bride KFAN text line at 64686. We're broadcasting live from the 651 Carpets Plus Studios, the climate-controlled 651 Carpets Plus Studios. It says, do not tempt fate. Bad idea. That was the phrase I was looking. Denby, dare we tempt fate? There's something about it that I almost want to, because, and I thought if we were ever going to tempt fate, when you're up 3-1, okay, it goes to 3-2. We learned our lesson.
We're not used to being in this position.
Right. And then if we lose and it's 3-2, well, then we do a montage to the next game and we win. If it was 3-3, I wouldn't even consider it, because what if we lose? Then it's our fault. Then this one says, let Tenna cook. And let's let Tenna cook.
I always love that one.
Oh, here's another one that's similar. It says, let Tenna B-ball cook. Is that what the kids say now?
Tenna B-ball?
Yeah. Tenna B, I guess basketball. Tenna B-ball cook. I get the kids, I've always heard cook before. He's cooking, but is that kind of come back to the kids?
Oh, yeah, they love to do that. Yeah. Every sporting event my kids talk about, I'm going to cook tonight.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, I'll bounce off some.
They also like to talk about breaking ankles.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that still in vogue? Because Pete will have taught, I've heard from Pete and Baby Brother Peter and Deuce from when they were younger, when they had those catchphrases. And if I use them now, they look at me and say, we don't use that anymore. So I get behind on the hip now with it. Wow. Catchphrases. Again, so many people just so excited. Comment, I'm currently using talk to text to let you know they're coming to take me away. With a butterfly net and straitjacket as I'm being committed due to my perma smile from Tenna's montage. Welcome back to the spotlight.
I always love that one.
Yeah. Here's another one about my idea about, tempting fate. Cannot risk closing out a series at home for the first time in 20 years. We just can't risk it, Tenby. We have to do it. Closing out at home would be the very best. This one says no such thing as jinxes. No, you just trust me. There are. Someone said Edwards mentioned the montage during his halftime speech last night. You have to play it. So there you go.
I always love
Edwards,
that one.
lit into the team,
Yeah.
apparently, is what I heard. I was asked today, did you watch it? Well, not the whole thing. After the third quarter, it was game, set, match, right? That's one where if you're somebody that likes to leave the stadium early to beat traffic, now, if you did it during Minneapolis Miracle, you regret it. But there was not going to be any Golden State Miracle last night. Or no, that doesn't have alliteration. Golden State Stampede. No. What would it be? And however, somebody will figure it out for me. It has to have alliteration. There was nobody that thought they were coming back after that Wolves third quarter, did they? That was as thorough a thrashing, and Ant was brilliant. He hits the three just before halftime. Though if you're like me, I said it the moment Curry was hurt, the Dubs are done. Right? And they weren't that game, actually. They made me eat my words for that game. But they've been done ever since. There's just no way. They don't have enough scoring punch. The Wolves have plenty of scoring. They have guys that can score the basketball, and they play defenses. I think they play defense every bit as well as Golden State. Golden State.
When they want to.
Yeah, I know Golden State had the best since Butler came. They had the best defensive, statistically the best defense in basketball. But I think the Wolves for the entire season are like fifth best in the league. And when they want to shut you down, they'll shut you down. It's like it's this series, and there are no such things as jinx. And this series is over, right? There's no way Golden State's winning 3 in a row. I suppose they somehow stole one at Target, and then Curry had his Willis Reed, Jordan flu game, Kirk Gibson kind of a moment, but I just...
Or if Ant gets hurt.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
If he's out for the series.
A couple of people tried to box me up on the asterisk thing. I'll explain. Other side of the break. Plenty to get to today, including, I guess I knew where to start today. At first, I didn't think I'd know where to start. And I was going to spin wheel a topic. 79. One over the last 11. But let's do this. Let's break. We'll come back. And Tenneby has got, got bonus bucks, and he's got a keyword.
The Fan and BigDeck.com wants to give you a shot to win bonus bucks for their national cash contest. Enter the keyword happy at KFAN.com now for a shot of winning. The keyword is happy. Enter now at KFAN.com.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and Talkspace, the leading virtual therapy provider, is telling everyone, let's face it in therapy. By talking or texting with a supportive, licensed therapist at Talkspace, you can face whatever is holding you back, whether it's mental health symptoms, relationship drama, past trauma, bad habits, or another challenge that you need support to work through. It's easy to sign up. Just go to Talkspace.com and you'll be paired with a provider, typically within 48 hours. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule. Plus, Talkspace is in-network with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. Make your mental health a priority and start today. If you're not covered by insurance, get $80 off your first month with Talkspace when you go to Talkspace.com and enter promo code SPACE80. That's SPACE80. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com and enter promo code SPACE80.
First.com. KFAN.
Bonus Bucks is back on KFAN. We have 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday. That's every hour, 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. To enter the keywords and learn more, head to KFAN.com. Bonus Bucks is presented by BigDeck.com.
Hey, it's time now for Peek at the Purple, brought to you by Affordable Electric. May is Electrical Safety Month, and Affordable Electric is here to remind you safety starts at home or your business. Their licensed electricians are ready to help with safety inspections, surge protection, panel upgrades, and more, because even small issues can lead to big problems. Whether your space is old or new, Affordable Electric will make sure your electrical system is safe, efficient, and up to code. Call them 612-331-VOLT or at affordable-electric.com to schedule an appointment. Affordable-electric.com. Affordable Electric is shockingly affordable. Well, it is official, tend to be both you and Ben Lieber, extended family members of the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings, predicted it, said your sources had told you, and now apparently it is official. Because once Shefty says it, it's official. Minnesota will become the first NFL team to play in back-to-back international games in different countries, facing the Steelers in the first ever regular season NFL game in Dublin, Ireland on Sunday, September 28. And the Vikings will then travel to London, England to play the Cleveland Browns on Sunday, October 5th. They're home away from home. So 2 games outside the United States. It's first time ever a team has played back-to-back games. It's a first for Minnesota. I'd rather win our first big game, but maybe this will lead to it. I'm not sure.
And I think I saw with the Cleveland game, I thought I saw someone tweet, the Vikings now won't travel to Cleveland until 2033.
What a bad break for all of us.
And they haven't been there since 2009. So they're going to go, whatever that math would be, 24 years without playing in Cleveland.
It's emotional.
And I remember that 2009 game because I believe I think that was their first regular season game with Brett Favre.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, your memory is much better than...
Because I remember being a little rusty. They had a pretty vanilla offense that day. Yeah. Adrian was running. I remember Percy had some moments.
Yeah. So good. I'm negotiating. I just don't know. My guess is because of your family situation with younger kids going away for 2 weeks on a golf trip. On a business trip. with our broadcast partner, the Vikings, would be that's not going to work, right?
It's also during all the hockey tryouts, too.
Oh. Because I got nothing going on. I'm wide open.
I mean, if they want to send us to Ireland for free, and I can probably have to bring the gal with, but
yeah, well, I'm about to negotiate a new contract, and that's what I'm going to put in my contract. In lieu of a great big fat raise, you know what I'll do? I'll just say, why don't you just pay for a trip for me and my wife to spend 2 weeks with the team? I'll do shows there every week. It's not like I'm just going to, I'm not going to golf. I mean, I'm not going to work. I'm going there to play golf, to do the grum, Yeah,
I don't want to go there. We do a show. We think it's brilliant. And then they go, why wasn't Tempt at Vikings practice in the morning getting audio?
Yeah. Still one of the greatest things of all time when they sent us down to training camp. We played golf at the Mankato Country Club, did our normal show, annoyed, was it NFL Network? Because we were talking too loud.
Yeah.
And then we were doing the fumble bit with Peterson, and we just did our normal show, and they came back and they just called us out on the carpet. What were you guys doing down there? We did our show. Well, we didn't have any interviews. Well, players weren't available because they were having their lunch and their break time. Well, couldn't have this is what they actually said. Well, B could have taken a tape recorder and recorded some interviews. And we just burst out laughing. We said, when would we have had time to play golf? If you're doing interviews, we can't play golf. The whole reason we volunteered.
We wouldn't go down there.
No.
If we couldn't play golf but had to do interviews, we wouldn't have made the drive.
No, why would we do that?
Well, then how many hours ahead is it 6 hours for Ireland and England?
That's what we can play 36.
Oh, yeah, play 36, and then we're 6 to 9 over there?
If our wives are with, we do 18 in the morning, and then we go do something. We do some
tour a castle of some sort.
Right,
yeah,
exactly. In the afternoon, and then, does Potato like that trip? Well, yeah, she likes that trip. Give back to... all I do is give and give and give till I give to iHeart and KFAN. I give and give and give. I'm about to give out. Why don't they give back to me? Be a nice little gesture on their part, right? I'm not asking them to pay for the green fees, but if you want to, that'd be great. That'd be all right. I mean, I'm the official, unofficial ambassador of Minnesota Golf. I got a little cachet over there, I think. Think about double. Do you have many great courses?
Oh.
Here's what people will tell you. The people that have played both. If you could only take one European golf trip, you go to Scotland because that's where it all began. But I'm told the best golf courses are in Ireland, is what I'm told.
Really?
Yes. And I've not played in Ireland before. And it would be research for tee to green. There's a lot at stake. And then, of course, being there with the Vikings every day, getting a feel. Then we can talk about the effects of jet lag, circadian rhythms, time zone changes, right?
We'll know what the players are going through.
That's exactly right. So I just think it would make for great radio. I think you'd find a lot of the food yucky, but that's okay. I'm sure
every place in the world has a McDonald's or a Burger King.
I'm sure they got fruit snacks for you or something like that. Of course, you have to separate them by color. But I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see if that happens. So that's your peek at the purple. Brought to you by Affordable Electric, your old home specialist. Reach out today for that safety inspection. Call them at 612-331-VOLT or at affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric is shockingly affordable. Tend to be the only way Golden State wins the series. They'd have to win 3 in a row. That would be a golden statement is what it would be. That's the best we could come up with. It's not bad.
No, it's all right.
It's all right. It's not Minneapolis Miracle, but a golden statement would be, and that would be quite the statement if they were to win 3 in a row.
I will say down 3-1, they're not really Warriors anymore. They're more like Warriors.
Yeah, the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, really? Well, this might be good news for us.
Yeah. We're going on the trip?
Of all the dumb ideas you've had, this is probably on the top.
No! You mean not playing a montage before tomorrow's game? Because the listeners feel like if we didn't do a montage before game 1, we lost to Golden State. It was his fault. Is that what you're saying, the dumb ideas? Because I suggested we test it. What other idea could be dumb? What are you talking about?
He might have meant the part where he said negotiation earlier.
No.
Going on a trip. I thought you don't have to be at the stadium to talk about the team.
Well, you don't, but we want to just experiment, try something different. You're always telling me to try something different, mix it up a little bit.
Why don't you try to prepare for your show? Why don't you try to show up before 11:45?
I looked at the tweet, and it said Vikings first team ever, and I want to be a part of that. It's history. That was show prep. I think this is a great idea.
Why don't you, how about we look at travel costs and some golf courses in Green Bay? Why don't you follow the team this fall? I'll get you a press spot. Why don't you host Fan Line?
Wait.
Huh?
I've done that before. Well, here's what I'll tell you. Have anybody else that's done Fan Line since me and say, do it by yourself. See how much fun that is. Nobody to bounce anything off except listeners. Let's go to Drunken Joe in Joliet. Joe. It's awful.
Yeah, that's why you do talkbacks and text now.
Have them do it at a sports bar where it's really loud and everything's going on, and find out how much fun that is. I've been in the trenches before. I've done that.
You don't want anything to do with it anymore. I get it. So that's why.
But this is my regular show. I'm not talking about going above and beyond the Call of Duty. I'm talking about going there and doing the show. Hey, live here with the Vikings. Just think, could have O'Connell on, could have players on.
How could you have anybody on? You're going to be golfing.
It'll be 6 to 9 at night over there.
Well, yeah, 6 to 9 at night. They'll be done practicing. They'll come over, and it'll be great.
They'll just come over.
Why wouldn't they?
Why would they?
Well, because we have a great partnership, and they want to spread the word.
Yeah, but you want nothing to do with going to the games or going to practice or any of those things.
It's because I can focus better at home.
So then you should probably focus at home.
This is different. This is the first time it's ever been done in NFL history that a team has played back-to-back games. Why are you...
Well, let me just counteract him for a second here. When the power trip's gone to London before, is Corey Cove and Meat Sauce going to all the practices ahead of time, going to the press conferences?
No, but they were part of the Vikings broadcast at the time, so you could go. I'm not saying Tennessee couldn't go, but they were all part of the broadcast.
I'll do a 90-second commentary like I used to do before the game. I'll just pre-record it.
Oh, boy.
I think we got it all figured out. Sounds like
I guess you got to read a box. Yeah,
sounds like we're going to Dublin. London calling. London calling. We'll take a break. We'll come back with a little just out here on the fan. Metallica.
Carboni's Pizzeria wants to fuel your playoff party. Visit one of their 30-plus locations to enjoy delicious pizza and get ready for the playoff run. Find your nearest Carboni's today at carbonispizza.com.
I'm not very good at time frames. It was certainly within the last 5-ish years when the legendary Mark Rosen made his stand-up comedy debut at the New Hope Cinema Grill, as did on the same bill making his stand-up comedy debut former Minnesota Viking and Baltimore Raven and Super Bowl champion Matt Burke also made his stand-up comedy debut. Larry Mondello guy was the MC. I was the headliner, as it were. This coincided with Barrero's trip to Hawaii. Remember when he took they did a listener trip to Hawaii, and Barrero was able to fill a plane.
Yeah.
And bring a bunch of people to Hawaii. Monday Night Football guy, who was doing stand-up comedy with us at the time, was devastated. He was on the trip to Hawaii, but he so badly wanted to work comedy because he wanted to work... I think he wanted Matt Burke and the legendary Mark Rosen to see his comedic chops, right? I would say if I were going to compare Monday Night Football guy to another comedian, I don't think it would be Dennis Miller, Jerry Stiller, or Phyllis Diller, Dave Chappelle, Howie Mandel, and Dave Attell. I would say Carrot Top, Curly from the Three Stooges,
and maybe
Gallagher.
And maybe Gallagher. He actually, this is what he said he was going to do. Fly to Hawaii for the first night of the trip, then fly back to Minneapolis, do the comedy show, get back on a plane and fly back to Hawaii, and then come back.
You've got to be kidding me.
Minneapolis to Hawaii, Hawaii to Minneapolis, Minneapolis to Hawaii, Hawaii to Minneapolis. I tried to talk him out of it. I said, dude, it's not that big of a deal. You're going to do 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and you'll get another opportunity to work with those people. You'll do comedy again. Oh, I'm going to do it. So I reached out to Steelers guy, because Steelers guy is tight with Monday Night Football guy. I said, you got to talk him out of it. Steelers guy was able to do that. And Monday Night Football guy said to me later, he said, it was a good idea to do that. That was the most ridiculous Rube-like idea I'd ever heard until what I just heard before I started today. Justin Guard, the box of mashed potatoes. Is this true, or did Abbott is he doing a fishing expedition? He says Justin Guard got on a plane in Minneapolis, flew to San Francisco, Ubered to Oracle Arena or wherever it is they play, watched the game, got back on the red eye and flew back to be ready for the show today.
You've got to be kidding me.
Did he do that? Have you heard that?
I've heard that.
It would make more sense to fly to Hawaii, back to Minneapolis to do comedy, and then fly back to Hawaii and then back to Minneapolis than to fly to watch the Minnesota Timberwolves in a really is sure a thing as there's ever been in the National Basketball Association. This was a gimme game. This was a game in which there was absolutely, positively no chance for the Golden State Warriors to win. Especially when Ant gave his win one for the Gipper speech. Did you see the quote from him? It sounded just like Garnett. They interviewed Ant after the game. This was in Fish Wrap Factory, West Side. Let me dial up the story, Tenemy. It was the Gamer, I think. Just give me one. Here it is. So here's the story. Ant says, hold on. Gosh darn it. Maybe I saw a quote elsewhere, but he basically said, I didn't like the way we was playing. Much like remember when Garnett said, I didn't like the way we was playing against Sac. Come fourth quarter.
I didn't like the way we were playing in Sac, so I just told him, hey, we're going to live and die with me. If don't nobody like it, sit your ass down right here. Don't come out here, but we coming through me. That's why I like Sam to come in. I let them do their things for 3 quarters, come fourth quarter, bring it to the ticket.
Yeah, and I could have swore I saw almost that exact same quote, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe I wanted it to be that exact same quote. But he did say, he goes, it's close enough, I guess. He says, I told him we only got 2 wins. I never seen a series end 2-1. We got to make 2 more wins, and right now we playing like we got 4 wins. We playing like they going to lay down. If we would have kept playing like that, we would have lost tonight. I know I saw the quote somewhere about, he says, I didn't like the way we was playing.
Here, I got the audio for it.
Oh, do you?
I played it during the montage.
Oh, did you? Well, I was too busy running through brick walls.
I told him we only got 2 wins. I've never seen a series end 2-1. I told him, we got to get 2 more wins, and right now we playing like we already got 4 wins. Like we playing like they're gonna lay down. Knowing this team, knowing their head coach, they're never gonna lay down. So we had to figure it out, man. Because if we would have kept playing like that, we would have lost tonight.
Yeah, and so and that's what they did. Why would JG? I mean, I thought when he and Nordo used to go to the Army-Navy game every year, I thought that was Rube-like. He flew to... If it was Game 7...
That's what I was going to say.
And it's not... It's just these semifinals. Is he going to get frequent flyer miles? Like,
he might have frequent flyer miles, yeah.
but I mean, is he going to continue to get more? Because, like I say, is he going to go back out there for what? Like, heaven forbid, it goes to a Game 7. Do they have the home court advantage?
No, we do.
Oh, so what game is next?
Be Game 6 back out there.
Game 6 back out there. So what if they win 5 here? Is he going to fly back out for Game 6, then come back here? And then let's say it's, who do you think? It'll be Oklahoma City or Denver? Who do you think?
Let's say OKC.
Okay. Is he going to go to OKC for the first couple games and come back and forth? I mean, to each his own. But I would just say, Guardsy, it's called television. It's a wonderful invention. You can sit in your couch and you can see the game and the replays back. I understand if it's NBA Finals, Game 7, okay. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and head on out there. Game 5 when you're up? No. Game 4? No. Yeah, game 4.
It was Game 4.
Game 4, up 2-1 already, and you knew you were going to win.
Their best players not in the lineup.
Boy, that's dedication to rubidity. Now, I understand if the game was in Omaha, because Omaha's you practically live there. You know how Rosen practically lives at Kowalski's? JG practically lives in Omaha. You know, we know that. So I could understand his homeboy from home and go all the way to San Francisco. I mean, would you have gone to Las Vegas for a Game 4 for the Wild and the Knights?
No.
Yeah.
I think I almost did have a Rube moment once in my life in terms of a similar. I still don't think it's similar, though, because this is Game 4. Like, whoever wins last night's game is really not completely changing the trajectory of the series.
Right.
I get if it's Game 7. So when Richard Park scored for the Minnesota Wild against the Colorado Avalanche in 2003, that was Game 6. He scored in overtime. We were heading to a Game 7. And I think then, if I recall correctly, Game 7 was the next night in Colorado. It wasn't like there was days between.
Okay.
It was next night. The thought of, do I fly to Colorado and just go to the game tomorrow night, did cross my mind.
It did cross your mind.
Now, I didn't have a full-time job where I had to be, work at the Common program noon to 3 the next day. It's also why I didn't go, because I didn't have a full-time job. It would have been a little expensive for me. That was the only moment I ever had of being Rube-like. But to your point, if it's NBA Finals Game 7 on the line, I get maybe the Rube comes out a little bit. This series is over.
Or Game 6 and you're up 3-2. You could win it there, right? Yeah. Yeah, I just find
and it's not like it's been some super entertaining series, but I got to go see this. I got to be at this game in person.
His broadcast partner on radio, do they still do that TV show?
Enough Said?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Do they still do that show?
Yeah.
So
do we know?
They're partners on the show. It's like he had a Rube-like moment. We've talked about this before. He talked about it himself. It was that one, was it a 5 overtime game or 6? That high school hockey tournament.
Yes, I was there.
Okay, and what game was that
Apple
again?
Valley, Duluth East.
And it went 6?
State tournament semifinals.
And he had a media pass. He's watching it over, this is when he lived off of one of the lakes over there. And he said when it got to the 3rd overtime, he got in his car and was racing down there because he had to be there for the historic moment. But then halfway there, they scored the game-winning goal. It was over. He had to turn around and come back. The only thing that I can think is similar is just the opposite, where I've been at a game thinking, why am I here, and wanting to leave. That's how it is for me. It's just the opposite.
That's all your games.
Well, yeah. The very best was I bought baby brother Peter Wolves tickets for his for Christmas for him and his buddies, right, for the dog pound. And then they had nice seats, lower bowl. And then I bought nosebleeds for me, Helen, and Deuce, because the 3 of us didn't care. And then all of a sudden, I just can't wait for the game to get over. It's just torture, right? Because again, the Wolves aren't any good. This is 4 or 5 years ago. They're not going anywhere. It's a terrible team. Both teams are bad. And all of a sudden, it goes to overtime. And Public's dress announcer said, "We've got extra basketball," or something like that. And everybody else starts cheering, and I just drop my head into my hands. I can't believe I have to be here for another who knows how long. Oh.
So Leo had one of those moments, and he was playing in the East Ridge baseball tournament over the weekend. And they were playing Rochester. They were down a run in the bottom of the 6th. Runners on 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. And I'm thinking to myself, I would like them to score. I want them to win the game, but I also don't want them to only score 1 run. And now we got to sit through another inning, which, let's face it, a 10-year-old baseball, an inning can be 30, 40 minutes
Yes.
in 90-degree weather.
Wow. Not good. This text message says JG has surpassed Barrero as Timberwolves superfan. I think
yes,
because Barrero didn't go.
No, I agree.
Here's another one. It says, Common being a Rube has been ruined for you, though. Guardsy never slapped big black Jack Morris on the back 5 minutes after the greatest Game 7 in World Series history, and that's true. Thank God I didn't have to fly to Atlanta to see it. It was here in Minneapolis. It worked out really great for me. I had a press pass, and it was wonderful. And I was 5 minutes after the greatest Game 7 in World Series history. And that did ruin. I've told the story before. I'll just tell you the punchline. I saw Blackjack at a basketball game, traveling basketball game in Hastings. I said, "You've ruined it for me." He goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "Sports. I was there 5 minutes after the game. Greatest Game 7 World Series history. Now any sporting event pales in comparison." He pauses and looks at me and goes, "I can understand that." I just love that. Because it kind of does. You know, I mean, again, you can still enjoy a sporting event, but it doesn't match. But when you just think about it, you know, the game.
Never had that feeling again?
No, never.
No.
It's never going to
Never
happen.
come close. I guess Minneapolis Miracle, maybe.
Yeah. But that was
the closest we got.
But that was just a playoff game.
Not Game 7.
No, not Game 7. And then
was that the same game? You've told the story before about Bud Grant's kid. You were calling a game, and you faked the timeout call.
That was before Game 6.
That's genius.
Because they were playing a playoff game at Mounds View, and I don't know if it was against Mounds. I think it was neutral site. And so there was a 7:00 start. I went down to the sideline before the game, and I told Mike, I got media pass to go to Game 6. I said, as soon as this football game is over, your game, it's the shortest post-game show in the history of post-game shows. I'm grabbing my equipment. I'm sprinting to the car, driving downtown, finding a parking ramp, and sprinting to the stand. And I got there in time to see the dramatics. I said, so don't be calling any meaningless timeouts late in the game and delay me. God is my witness. Game has got like 2-3 minutes to go. It's in hand for Forest Lake. I look down at the sideline. He's looking up at the press box with his back to the field, signaling timeout. Like, I'm going to call one.
Genius.
Yeah, it was genius. So, but good for Guardsy. But he can't stop here, Kenny.
Well, no. If you're going to go to that game, you're also going to be going to Western Conference Finals versus OKC. Well, yeah. You're going to be going to Madison Square Garden against the Knicks.
It's like
in the finals.
It's like that Foreigner song. I can't stop now. I've traveled too far to change that lonely life. He's traveled too far. He can't stop now. He's got to go to every game on the road. Oh man, good for him though. Now, I don't know if you know this, but they like him in San Francisco. You know, here he's the tasteless box of mashed potatoes. In San Francisco, he's known as the tasteless box of rice-a-roni. Tasteless box. Who do you think sent that one in?
That would be more Amsterdam.
You are correct, but it's good. Yeah, it's really good. The tasteless box. Here, now this JG did have a press pass for the game. If I had access to a live playoff Wolves game and had the disposable income to grab last-minute flights, sounds like a fun trip to me. It sounds like a torture chamber to me, but yeah, I guess.
To me, like if you were like making a weekend out of it, right? You're staying at a hotel, maybe go check out the Golden Gate Bridge, go check out Alcatraz. That makes a little sense. Just fly in just for the game and then leave on a red eye after.
Yeah.
That'd be like sending us out to Ireland for the Vikings game, but we don't do any of the fun stuff before. We're just going right to the stadium, watch the game, come back home.
Well, then I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out. There's no chance I would do that. This one says, I'm with you guys on Guardsy Rube trip to San Francisco, but Barney had a bit of a different take. He said he was proud of the young man. That sounds like PA.
That makes a lot of sense.
Oh. And PA's a national treasure. Maybe Guardsy's got a chance to be a national treasure.
PA's never told me he's proud of me, so.
No, me neither. Matter of fact, all he did was admonish you for your botched interview with David Bettman. No.
Gary Bettman.
Gary Bettman. That's been a scar on your career. I think that's what's held you back.
I've never gotten over it.
Well, I think that's why you haven't got that video coordinator's job at the Wild, because they know about it. You just butchered that. High level. That's where high level long time
I always
came,
love
right?
that
Yes. I've been doing this at a high level for a really long time.
And Lil B still says that statement every day.
Yeah.
P. Ellerton said, Teneby, I've been doing this at a high level for a long time. Gary Bettman interview. No! Oh, this play sometimes. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you cry, right? There's so many good stories. And they just continue. They build and build. They never stop. Every day it seems like there's a new one. And then I tried to get Sauce going today. I texted him at 5:28 in the morning. I said, do you think the NBA lottery is rigged? No, I said, how did Dallas get the first pick? And what do you think he responded with? Because it's rigged. It does kind of seem it's rigged, right? Dallas trades.
Given they had like a 1.8% chance of getting the number one pick.
And
which happens sometimes.
Right, but I mean, that would be the team you would think the NBA would want to help, because after they traded, do we say Doncic or Doncic today? What do you want to say?
Let's go Doncic.
So Doncic, and so the whole fan base now hates the Dallas Mavericks. They're just bitter and angry. So now you go, well, we can't have this. People will stop going to games. They won't sell tickets. Yeah. I mean, the TV numbers will be down. What can we do? Let's get them Cooper Flagg. We bring them a brand new guy to team with street clothes and the rest of the team. I mean, in all honesty, is this crazy to say I think I'd rather have Cooper Flagg as the number one pick than Doncic? Because I tend to, what the GM or owner, whoever it was, said, it was GM, right, about Doncic, I think there's some truth to it. He does seem to be like he's not in great shape. And apparently he does like to, and it's okay to want to.
He's the Ovechkin of hockey.
Yeah.
Or the Ovechkin of basketball.
And that can still be great.
Yeah.
But if you can get, the Flagg guy does look like a superstar in the making, man. I mean, when I watch, now that's college basketball, and you're not always, when you're a really good player during the season, you're playing against teams that aren't very good. And, you're playing good teams, but you're playing mediocre teams as well. You might look a little better than you are, but I think I'd rather have him start from scratch. But who knows? Top of the hour, 534. Atena, what you got for us?
Did the Vikings have an unfair advantage this upcoming season?
Hi, I'm Bob Pittman, Chairman and CEO of iHeartMedia. On this week's episode of Math and Magic, I'm sitting down with the one and only Bobby Bones. We're exploring the power of audio.
Yeah, I don't fit into one specific hole. I think that is what endeared me to listeners. That's why I'm here now, because I talk to people that grew up like me, have sensibilities like me, and have loyalties like me.
Listen to Math and Magic, stories from the frontiers of marketing on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast.